Now, the other thing is that people are talking about how his death is being hyped and sensationalized by the media. As someone in media, I can tell you it's not about sensationalism or hype. The guy was a great actor, and people are upset he's not going to be in any other movies. That's it. People don't have a fascination with heroin death. People don't have a fascination with this specific case for any ridiculous reason. It's not a romanticism of how the guy died. It's all about losing an actor we didn't want to lose. That's it. I mean, you have some people that try to romanticize and victimize the whole addict thing and you know, oh, this poor guy, he was in his drugs and that's kind of ridiculous. People make their choices. And, you know, we could make arguments about this case that should be raised, such as, you know, the number of overdoses in Portugal, which has heroin legal there. The number of overdoses in Portugal went down considerably after heroin was made legal because they decriminalized heroin, and you could get treatment without having to worry about legal consequences or you know, societal problems coming from that. You wouldn't have to worry about, you know, the shame, I guess, or the massive media attention or the police getting involved or losing your kids. You know, you could get treated and get healthy, and that was all that mattered. Or that is all that matters in Portugal. And that's something we should be looking into here. But this notion that freedom needs to be tempered with anything, that freedom somehow is not okay on its own, that our natural rights, which we are born with, are somehow too much for us to handle, and we need, you know, somebody to help guide us from being too free, or we'll just hurt ourselves, like a kid that needs to wear a helmet. It's nuts. It's irresponsible, and it is intellectually dishonest to claim that people need something aside from freedom. Look, the only rule we need is that you should not use force against other individuals. And if you do, you will be met with violence. Violence begets violence. That's the only rule. Treat others as you would be treated. If you wouldn't be punched in the face and have your wallet stolen, then don't do it yourself. Or you probably get shot. It's that simple. And the same thing goes with heroin. The guy wanted to shoot up heroin, let him. Instead of getting illegal heroin with this phenol stuff or whatever, that it's killing all these people in the Northeast, you know, businesses could be just selling regular heroin without these added, you know, embalming chemicals or whatever. And it could be a lot safer for these people who have these unfortunate addiction problems. And not only that, they could go get help without worrying about running into the cops or losing their kids. They could get treated. But the point is, I've encountered an argument here that somebody said, you know, so freedom shouldn't be tempered by individual or property rights. The argument here is a non-argument. It doesn't exist. Freedom comes with property and individual rights, because all of these rights stem from the right to life. And freedom is defined by the ability to exercise your rights. Period. Think about this. To be a slave, you have to be denied the ability to own your own property, the fruits of your labor. For instance, if you've got the government taking 60% of everything you produce in New York, for example, if you're paying 60% of your total income in taxes, you do not own 60% of what you work for. And what you work for, the things that you do, your productivity, that's your life. That's being alive. Slavery is defined as somebody else owning 100% of your labor. So at what percentage does slavery begin and end? It's a fair question, I think. But we need to understand that argument about slavery is all about property. The right to property comes from the right to life. You own your own life. You cannot be considered alive without owning your own property. The right to owning your own life implies and connects to the right to owning the things your life produces. They go together, hand in hand. And everyone should understand that rights are not something that is given to you by anyone. I mean, if you're a Christian or a Buddhist or a Muslim or whatever, then of course you can go with the divine right argument that you are endowed by your Creator with certain inalienable rights. That's how our founders wrote it. That's how you believe it. That's perfectly fine. But speaking, without religion, your rights are yours at birth, and all humans, by right of their life, by the fact that they live and they think, have these inalienable rights. They have the right to life, which causes the right to property, which causes liberty. It's not liberty that makes these rights happen. These rights necessitate freedom. These rights necessitate liberty. You must be free because of what rights you're born with. So when somebody starts saying, rights only exist because people allow them to, or a common agreement, or a voluntary society creates your rights, that is no different than being a communist or a socialist. And that is why I keep saying it is important how you get there. It is important how you come to these conclusions. If you're one of these people that's sitting and saying, we need laws protecting these rights because otherwise we don't have them, you are part of the problem. If you're one of these people that says we need a law that says people cannot control our guns, you are a huge part of the problem. We already have a law that says you are entitled to defend yourself. That is the law of nature. It is, not a law of nature, it's a law of life. Your right to life gives you the right to protect yourself. Your right to property and your right to life gives you the right to own weapons to defend your life from whatever force threatens you. That's where your right to bear arms comes from. Because you have the right to life, you have the right to property. Because you own property, you must needs defend it from people who would take it from you. Because you must needs defend yourself and your property, you must have arms. You see how this works? It's not about what government would allow. It's not about what the founders wrote down, and because they wrote it, you get it. It's about what is a natural right. It is about what rights you are born with. And the fact that people don't see that is terrifying to me. These people keep thinking that the founders gave us our rights and the Constitution gives us our rights. No. We are given our rights at birth. The right to be free, the right to live, the right to property. These rights are born in every human being. Every human being. Not just Americans and not just the ones under the constitutional republic. Every human being. And the notion that we somehow need, or for some reason, we need Barack Obama to sign off on some legislation that barely got through Congress to tell us what we can and cannot do is insane. And a person that believes that way, I consider to be my enemy. And you should consider them to be your enemy too, because that person is not an American. That person is against everything America was founded on, and it's against everything the spirit of this country and freedom stands for. You have a right to live. You have a right to property created by that life. You have a right to defend yourself. You have a right to own the fruits of your own labor, because that is your life. It is a product of your living, of your thinking. You think, therefore you live. The products of your thinking are yours by your right to life. These are not questions. These are not opinions. These are statements of fact. And the more people understand this, the better off our country will be. People won't be worried about welfare. People won't think about raising taxes. People won't think about massive government spending because they won't be entitled to these things. Government is able to grow out of control because people seem to have started believing in this ridiculous notion the government has a right and a necessary duty to do things it doesn't need to do. This sweeping healthcare reform, Obamacare, this is from people who think it's government's job to provide for people. And it's these same people that think your rights come from government, and so you should just get over it. And that's unacceptable. It is unacceptable for people in this country, what should be the freest country in the world. It's not. It's not number one on the list of freest countries. And that's all because of this crap. We have laws that prevent certain counties from selling alcohol. We have laws that prevent women from selling sex if they want to. We have laws that prevent people from smoking a plant that grows in the ground. We have laws preventing people from marrying who or whatever they love. We have laws that say you can't decide your health proxy is your same-sex partner because they're the same sex as you. We have laws in this country that prevent you from signing a contract with another individual because you're the same gender. What the hell is that? We have laws in this country that say if the government ever says so, you're required to give your life to the country in the form of military service. We could go to war with Russia for no reason. I mean, Obama could just declare it and then declare a draft. That's a law. That's an actual thing. Now, I support the military, and I believe in service, and I understand that we need a strong military to deal with threats, foreign and domestic. I would question how much of a threat Washington is at this point in time. But the point